Welcome to Book Nook, your go-to channel for all things books. Today, we delve into the intriguing world of genetics and psychology with Robert Plomin's BluePrint. Robert Plomin, a renowned behavioral geneticist, presents us with a fascinating exploration of our DNA and how it shapes who we are. In BluePrint, he integrates years of research and insights to challenge our understanding of genetics and its influence on our personality and behavior. This book is not just a scientific expedition into our genetic makeup, it's a journey into the very core of what makes us unique. Plomin argues that our DNA blueprint not only determines our eye color, height, and other physical traits, but it also sketches a detailed map of our behaviors, tendencies, and even our psychological traits. Intrigued? You should be. Fasten your seatbelts as we dive into the DNA of our behaviors and personalities. Chapter 1 of BluePrint introduces us to the fascinating world of genetics. Here, Robert Plomin takes us on an enthralling journey into the heart of our genetic beginnings. He discusses the role of genes in shaping our personalities and behaviors, laying the groundwork for the chapters to come. He introduces the concept of heritability, the proportion of differences among people that is due to genetics. Plomin emphasizes that heritability is not about determining individual destiny, but about understanding the source of individual differences. We also delve into the interplay between genes and environment, a dance that shapes us in ways we're only beginning to understand. This chapter teaches us that while we're all unique, we're also a product of both our genes and our environment. Our genetic beginnings are not a blueprint for who we will become, but rather a sketch that we fill in throughout our lives. With the first chapter, Plomin sets the stage for a deeper understanding of our genetic makeup. In Chapter 2, Plomin takes us into the heart of the DNA revolution. He lays out the breathtaking advances in genetic research that have transformed our understanding of human nature. We learn about the development of DNA sequencing, which has made it possible to read the entire 3 billion letter-long human genome. Plomin then delves into the discovery of genetic markers, tiny variations in our DNA that can help predict our risk for certain diseases or even hint at our potential talents. He shows us the incredible progress in genome-wide association studies, which search for correlations between thousands of genetic markers and traits across large populations. He also discusses the ethical implications of these breakthroughs. How do we balance the potential benefits of genetic knowledge with the risks of discrimination and privacy invasion? Chapter 2 leaves us marveling at the power and potential of genetic research. Chapter 3, The Nature of Nurture, is where Plomin truly challenges our conventional beliefs. In this enlightening chapter, Plomin dives deep into the intricate dance of genetics and environment, two factors that play a significant role in shaping us. The chapter kicks off with the fascinating concept of genetic nurture. This is the idea that our environment doesn't just affect us directly, but also indirectly through our genes. Plomin illustrates this by examining how parents, siblings, and even our community can influence our genetic expression, shaping our behavior, personality traits, and even our skills. Next, Plomin makes a compelling case for the genetic influence on environmental measures, suggesting that our genetic makeup can shape the environments we find ourselves in. He posits that we are not passive recipients of our surroundings, but rather active creators of our environment, influenced by our genetic predispositions. The chapter then turns to the controversial topic of heritability. Plomin explains that heritability is not a measure of how much of our traits are determined by genes, but rather how much differences in these traits are due to genetic differences. He underscores that heritability does not mean immutability, reinforcing that while genes influence our traits, they do not determine our destiny. He also dissects how the interplay of nature and nurture shapes us into the individuals we are. He emphasizes that this is not a zero-sum game, and that both genetics and environment have a role to play. Plomin puts forth the idea that the nature-nurture debate is not about choosing sides, but about understanding how they work together. The chapter concludes with Plomin challenging the conventional notion of the power of nurture. He asserts that our life experiences do not write on the blank slate of our genes, but rather interact with our genetic predispositions in complex ways. As we close Chapter 3, we are left questioning the extent of nature and nurture's influence on our lives. This thought-provoking chapter invites us to reconsider our understanding of how we become who we are and opens up a world of possibility for future research and discovery. Chapter 4, Blueprint for Life, takes us on a journey of self-discovery. Here, author Robert Plomin delves into the idea of genetic destiny. Now, what does that mean? Simply put, it's the concept that our genes play a significant role in shaping our lives, our behaviors, and our experiences. Imagine for a moment that our life is a grand building. The architecture of this structure isn't random. It's not left to the whims of chance or circumstance. Instead, it's based on a blueprint. This blueprint is our genetic code. It's what makes us who we are, it's what makes us unique. But it's important to remember that a blueprint isn't a finished product. It's a plan. It's a guide. It's something that can be built upon. It's also something that can be modified under the right circumstances. So, what kind of impact does this blueprint have on our lives? According to Polmin, it's immense. Our genetic blueprint influences everything from our physical traits to our personality, from our intelligence to our mental health. It's a powerful force that shapes us in ways we may not fully understand. But here's the interesting part. Our genetic blueprint is not our fate. It doesn't predetermine our future. It doesn't dictate our destiny. It's a starting point, a foundation. The rest, as they say, is up to us. Ultimately, Chapter 4 of Blueprint urges us to consider the influence of our genes. It encourages us to reflect on our genetic destiny. It pushes us to understand that while our genes may shape us, they do not define us. In essence, Plomin's blueprint for life is a call to understand ourselves better. It's a call to recognize the power of our genetic blueprint, but also to remember the power we have to shape our own lives. Chapter 4 leaves us contemplating our genetic destiny and the power of our genetic blueprint. Having journeyed through the genetic landscape of Blueprint, it's time to summarize what we've learned. In the vast expanse of the human genome, Robert Plomin guides us to comprehend the fascinating world of genetics and its profound impact on who we are. This journey begins with our genetic beginnings, where we learn that we're all a unique blend of our parents' genes. It's a lottery of sorts, where we inherit half of our genes from each parent, making us the unique individuals we are today. But it's not just about the genes we inherit, it's also about how these genes interact with each other and with our environment to shape us. We then navigated through the DNA revolution, a groundbreaking era that has transformed our understanding of human genetics. With the advent of affordable genome sequencing, we can now explore our DNA like never before. This has opened up new possibilities in personalized medicine, allowing us to tailor treatments based on our unique genetic makeup. But it's not just about disease and medicine. It's also about understanding how our genes influence our personality, intelligence, and even our mental health. The nature of nurture then took center stage, challenging our traditional views on nature versus nurture. Plomin argues that it's not an either-or scenario. Rather, our genes and our environment are intricately intertwined, each influencing the other in a dynamic dance. Our genes can influence the environment we choose, and in turn, our environment can influence how our genes are expressed. It's a complex interplay that shapes us throughout our lifetime. Finally, we delved into the blueprint for life, exploring how our genetic blueprint influences us from the moment we're born until our last breath. Our genes may predispose us to certain traits or conditions, but they don't determine our destiny. They merely provide a map, guiding us through life. It's up to us to navigate this map, making choices and decisions that can shape our journey. As we close the pages of Blueprint, we are left with a deeper understanding of ourselves and the genetic forces that shape us. We've learned that our genes are not just about inheritance, they're about interaction and influence. We've discovered that our environment is not just about exposure, it's about experience and expression. And we've realized that our life is not just about destiny, it's about direction and decision. Remember, our genetic blueprint is not our destiny, but a map guiding us through life. It's a fascinating journey, one that's unique to each of us. It's a journey of discovery, of understanding, and of self-awareness. Thank you for joining us on this journey at Book Nook. Don't forget to subscribe for more insightful book reviews. Until next time, keep reading, keep